G'day folks. Today I want to talk about an extremely common problem, and I see a lot of it in a lot of different areas, and we're in the round pen today because that's where I see it the most, but not exclusive to the round pen. And I want to talk about nagging. Now, my definition of nagging is, I can't think of a better word for it, but a lot of people do it. And nagging is basically anytime you ask your horse to do something, and after it already does what you're asking it to do, it continues, you continue asking. Now, I'll give you an example here, and this is why I'm in the round pen, is because I frequently see people chasing the horse around with a lunge whip, constantly waving it and cracking it in the air and everything. And I do have one here with me, but it's going to, I'm going to hold it in my hand here kind of like this, right down in front of me. And that's where it's going to stay most of the time. It's very rare I actually ever use one, and I'm going to explain why. Because once the horse does what I want it to do, I'm going to put him to work right away now. Okay. Oh, now he doesn't take me seriously, so now I will use the lunge whip. But that wasn't very good forward on that one. But this is the first time I've asked him to move since I've started working with him today, so he's not taking me too seriously. But once I've asked him to move, and he moves, there's one hand, there's the other hand. I'm not doing anything. In fact, I'm not even moving. As you can see, I'm stationary. He's going around, not me. I'm not doing a thing. And as long as he continues to do what I asked him to do, I'm not going to keep cueing him. I'm not going to keep pointing. My way of doing things is I start with a point, then I go to a clock, and only if I don't get a response, I'll escalate to using the whip, but that's pretty rare. Once he actually does what he's supposed to do and he realizes that there are consequences to actions. There we go. I didn't use the lunge whip that time. I pointed, then I clucked, and away he goes. And at a nice relaxed pace. But I'm not continuing to bug him. I'm leaving him alone. I'm just standing here watching him and talking to you. Because I asked him to do something, and he did it. And a lot of problems are created by nagging. There's also a lack of progression because of the same thing, too. It causes multiple issues. And if he actually stops, I'll cue him again. I'll ask him to go again. But as long as he keeps going, I'm not going to do a darn thing. I'm just going to stand here and mind my own business. Now, I'm not using my own horse. This is another one I've been working with a little bit because my own is like super sensitive, and it's way too easy to cue her to do things. But this guy I've only been working with a few months. We haven't really done a whole lot with him. I haven't been on him yet. Well, I haven't ridden him. I pulled myself halfway up on the saddle. That's as far as we've gotten with him. But haven't actually ridden him. So he's, you know, and prior to my working with him, he knew absolutely nothing when it came to groundwork. So the fact that he is continuing to go around, and as you can see, he's been doing this for a while now. I haven't been cueing him. You know, I'm just standing here, like I said, there's both hands. You know, I'm not doing a thing. I'm just standing here watching him go around. You know, if I want him to pick up the gait or slow down, I can do that. But I'm only going to ask until he does it, and then I'm going to leave him alone. Now, this isn't just about lunging. I'm talking about it in the round pen because this is where I see it a lot. Oh, he stopped. I'm going to ask him to go again. I just pointed that time, didn't even have to clock. So, and as soon as I did that, I dropped my hand back down. I just quickly pointed and left him alone. But this is where it's predominant. So this is why I'm talking about it in the round pen here, is I see people constantly chasing their horse around, nagging it constantly. And what happens is, and this doesn't just apply to this kind of stuff, it also applies to riding. I see people clucking and kicking and all kinds of stuff just constantly. And all they're doing is nagging the horse, and eventually the horse becomes dull to your cues, and eventually it'll stop listening to your cues. You have to use more force. It just creates a ton of problems, and it doesn't create this nice soft horse that you get where all you got to do is point and away he goes. Now I'm going to just ask him to change directions here. I haven't said a thing. I'm not nagging him or nothing. Now, we're just going to point, because he knows that's what I want. I don't even have to do the cluck. I do not have to use the lunge whip. It's still sitting here in my hand. I have not used it. And I'm not going to nag him. As long as he keeps going around the way I want him to, we're just going to leave him alone. So please, folks, do not nag your horse. You know, if it stops, if it doesn't do what you want it to do, you can ask again. But as soon as it does what you want it to do, leave it alone. Don't nag it, okay? Because it's just going to cause you problems. It's going to hinder your progression with your horse, and it's going to just cause a ton of problems in the end. And we don't want that. So please, whatever you do, don't nag your horse. I don't recall that I've ever actually done it myself, but I'm sure I probably have. I think I've made most mistakes that are possible to be made. And I'm probably not done making mistakes yet. But it is a very common one. I see a lot of people doing it. And so I thought I'd address it, because it can really lead to some huge, huge problems in the end if you don't do something about it. So please, folks, don't nag your horse, and have a good day. Bye.